What is up, family? How are y'all doing today? Welcome back to Brooklyn TV. I'm so glad that you guys decided to tune in again and I didn't bore you out of your mind last time because if I did, you wouldn't be here. So, thank you so very much. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you for giving me a shot. Thank you for listening to me. Today, as promised, we are going to be talking about my journey with having gastric bypass surgery. I am now 3 months post op, and I'm going to be sharing all the gory details with you of my process before, during, and after surgery. But first, before we get into it, I gotta do this. I gotta shout out my boo Juanette. Y'all don't know my friend Juanette. Y'all need to get to know her because she did my braids, and honey, I just feel kind of cute. After I got my braids, I just ain't been able to keep my hand off of it. I just been like, oh, okay. She got a little bit of edges I got laid. I don't got a lot, but she got them laid. You know what I'm saying? So, enough of that. Shout out to Juanette. Thank you, boo, for always keeping me cute, y'all. She do my hair and she does my daughter's hair. I don't even touch my daughter's hair anymore. She goes there, she washes it, she takes it to loose, she redoes it, and she keeps her fresh. So I'm so very thankful for her because I am the worst at doing hair. Okay, let me just put that out there. A lot of people in my family do hair, but I didn't get that gift. It wasn't my gift to do hair, and so I was really struggling doing her hair, and trying to get it to grow and all that. And since Juanette has been doing it, it's been growing, it's flourishing. So Juanette, we appreciate you. Anyway, let's get back to uh this gastric bypass. So guys, oh, I'm gonna be looking down at my notes, so that's why I keep looking down. If you see me looking down, I don't want to forget anything. I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible. When I tell you guys, it's so much information that goes into this. There possibly may be a part two if I don't get to it all. And please feel free to ask me any questions down below in the comments. If or you can inbox me if you have any personal questions you don't wish for everybody to see. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions for you. I'm an open book, really, because I'd rather people be educated about the process. If before you consider it, or even if you don't want to consider it and you just want to know, I'd rather be an open book and, just give you some information. Information is always helpful. It may not be for you, it may be for somebody else. So let's get into it. So, first of all, there are multiple types of bariatric surgery. There is the sleeve, the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, which is what I had. They used to do the lap band. They don't do it anymore because of the health risk, and it wasn't very successful for the most part, is what I hear and what I've researched. And I believe there's one more. I can't think of it right at this moment that's not as invasive. But the main ones that you hear about the most are the bypass and the sleeve. So why did I choose to get the bypass? The bypass, for one, you lose more weight with the bypass. For two, to me, it just seemed a little bit more, it had a higher success rate with people being able to stick to their diets, and or not their, I shouldn't use the word diet, their life changes once they've made this change and this decision to do this. I researched it and it just seemed like it was the best thing for me. The sleeve is good, but sometimes people, they get the sleeve and then they go back and have the bypass, and then that's two surgeries when you could have just had the bypass in the beginning if you want to go the surgery route. Now, and let me put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to get this surgery. I'm just simply giving information and my opinion on things and how it went for me, so that it may help someone else in the long haul. So, the bypass, what do they actually do when you have a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass? So they literally take your stomach, they staple off a small portion, and they take that part and they take part of your intestines and they reroute the smaller portions directly into your intestines. The other part of your stomach is now cut off from the larger part of your stomach gets cut off from the smaller part of your stomach, and it aids in slowing down digestion, helping you feel fuller longer, helping your foods process slower so that you do feel full, and that your body isn't sending the signals that you need to eat again. Um, I work in the medical field myself, so when I was getting into all of this, I went on YouTube to look at some videos. They have a bunch of videos, some animated. If you can't, if you're not one of those person that can look at, guts and gory stuff, they have an animated version, but they also do have, real live surgeries on YouTube that you can view, and you can see exactly what they do, see the process. They talk you through everything that they're doing. And for me, that was beneficial because, I like to see what's going on, and because, of course you're going to be asleep, you don't know what's going on. So I just really wanted to know what actually was going to be permanently happening to my body, and, preparing myself mentally for it, because you don't want to go into it. I don't feel like you should go into it unprepared. If you go into it unprepared, it's going to definitely make it harder for you to make it through all of the steps that you need to take to complete the surgery and have it successful. So let's talk about the steps next. The process, sorry y'all, I'm doing all this moving because of the way I'm sitting. But the process of doing this surgery, you have to go through classes. You have to be checked off or signed off by your primary care provider. You have to be signed off by a surgeon. You have to be signed off by a psychologist. And you also have to go through a nutritionist program. So, 4 doctor checkoffs. That's 4. Your PCP, the surgeon, psychiatry, missing somebody. Oh no, and the nutritionist. So 3 doctors and a nutritionist. 3 doctors and a nutritionist, and you also have to have these classes you go through, which are mostly run by the nutritionist, just trying to teach you how to have a healthier lifestyle, how to do your portions, recipes that you can use that are good. Because a lot of times when we try to go out and we try to change stuff up ourselves with our food, we always get the stuff that is healthy but doesn't necessarily appeal to our senses. It doesn't taste good or it doesn't look good. And they actually had a lot of healthy options that actually taste good, and they showed us how to season it. Because listen, I can't eat any bland food. It has to have seasoning. They gave us so many different options, and I felt like it was very beneficial. And also the groups help with support, because for one, you want to have some support at home, but if you don't have the support at home, the groups are good, because you really find people that are going through the same things that you are going through, and they identify, and they may have found a way to navigate through an area you haven't yet. So I just think the groups are very beneficial, and I learned a lot from it, nutrition wise. Other than that, once you make it through those checkoffs, this is important. If you are a smoker and you want to do this program, you have to quit smoking. They do not allow you, and they test you, so it's not like you can get by with it. You have to stop the cigarettes, any type of nicotine. And they do help you. They give you time to stop if you are a smoker. It's not just something you have to do cut and dry. They do have resources to help you. But it's dangerous for you in recovery if you are a smoker. It increases your risk of ulcers and damaging your tissue while you're trying to heal. And when you have 4 large openings in your stomach, you don't want anything to stop that healing process. So they do help with that. Trying to think, there was something else I meant to mention to you guys about that. I don't know, but we'll come back. I'm sorry again. I'm sorry if I repeat things more than one time or I seem like I'm all over the place. I'm trying to really be very inclusive in what I tell you guys because I know there's so many questions out there. I literally have patients that come up to me that the doctor that I works for, he'll send them to me to ask me a bunch of questions about it, and I've tried to include a lot of this stuff here. So just so to make you aware. So if I'm jumping around or if I repeat myself, I apologize. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything. So why did I choose to have the gastric bypass? Well, let me tell you. I was upward over 300 pounds. My highest weight was actually 323 pounds. And right around the 315 mark, I really started having a lot of joint pain. I never became diabetic, hypertensive, anything like that, but I just was developing joint pain. My knees were hurting, my hips were hurting. And then I tried to start exercising, and guess what happened? I got injured. I pulled my piriformis, and if you don't know what a piriformis is, it's a small muscle in your butt cheek that hurts like hell. Like I cannot describe it any other way. Like I wanted somebody just to rip it out and throw it away. I don't need it anymore if it hurts this bad. You never, it's one of those things like you never realize you use that muscle until it gets hurt and and you're bending over, you're doing this. It was hard, y'all. I struggled so bad. And that was around the time I decided, yeah, I had thought about weight loss surgery before, and I had tried like diets and exercising, but one of the things that was holding me back was me trying to exercise. I was getting injured because my muscles weren't doing what they needed to do. Now, not to say that surgery is the only way that I could have fixed that problem. Don't get me wrong, because I did go to physical therapy, which helped some, and it helped me learn how to use my muscles better. But I just really realized that I needed something that was going to help me get a jump start on things so that I could do better for myself. So, and another thing, I have a young, active little girl that runs circles around me all the time. And, I really don't want to, excuse me, y'all. I don't want to miss out on those memories with her. I really want to be able to be active with her, run in the park with her, which I do, but I wasn't able to do it as much as I can now or how much I will be able to once I'm at my max weight loss. So I made a decision that it was time for a change, and it was a very scary decision. I had a lot of, what ifs and oh my gosh, am I really gonna do this moments. It was not something I took lightly, and but here we are. It worked, and I'm happy. And which I wasn't always happy, but we're gonna talk about that in just a moment. But yeah, but it turned out to be a good thing for me. So next, we are going to talk about all the adjustments you have to make with having the surgery. First off, during your pre-surgery diet, you have to make the mental and physical decision to commit to this. If you are not ready to be dedicated to this, it is not going to work. You have to lose 8% with my particular program, you have to lose 8% of your weight prior to surgery. And you do that by being on this drink called OptiFast, and having a mostly liquid diet, eating one meal a day, which for me was a salad because the meal had to contain a certain amount of protein, certain amount of vegetables, and they give you this whole list of the things you can and can't have. And that was your one meal for the day. You choose when you have it. You can have it breakfast, you can have it lunch, you can have it dinner, you can mix it up, whatever, if you want breakfast one day, lunch one day, dinner the other day, you could do that. That was totally your thing. But for me, it was easier to have dinner because in the mornings, I'm rushing to get out of the house. So I always ate light at mornings. And at lunchtime, I'm at work with my coworkers, and they feed us at my job. So it was better for me to be out like walking or something during that time, so I didn't make bad food choices. And at nighttime, it was just easier for me to control having dinner with my family. They're eating, I'm eating. I may not be eating what they're eating, and they did eat some of the same things with me, but it was just easier for me to do it that way. So I always put my meal at dinner time, and on the rest of the day, I just drink. Y'all, that was the hardest thing to do prior to surgery. Oh my gosh, just drinking one meal, seeing everybody eat, seeing all your favorite foods, and that didn't stop my family from eating. Let me tell you, my daughter still wanted all her snacks. You know, my fiance wanted her food. She now, I have to give her a little bit more credit. She did do a lot of it with me. She actually went and got some protein shakes herself, and did it with me for the most part. So shout out to Bay. She was there to help me a lot, and I think her support really helped me get through that. So it's good to have a support person at home, because it's very easy to fall off. It's very easy to be tempted to eat your favorite food, eat something greasy, eat something on the go if you're not prepared. So I really had to switch up my way of doing things in order for this to be successful for me. And one of the other things is getting used to drinking the protein shakes. Now, the protein shakes weren't horribly nasty, but when you drink something of the same thing all the time, you get tired of it. So for 2 months, no, I'm sorry, for a month, I drank these chocolate and vanilla protein shakes, and they're real sweet. They taste like a melted milkshake almost. It's not like it was nasty, but after your 100th one, you're just like, okay, somebody take this away from me, because you had to have 6 a day, and then your meal, and it's like, I don't want to drink another protein shake. Yeah. So that's one thing to consider. You have a full month of that, and that's when you lose your 8% of your weight. And I got kind of scared towards the end, because when my final weigh-in before surgery, I hadn't lost completely my 8%. But what made up for it was they have the machine that you step on, and it tells them how much your body is, what percentage you are fat, what percentage you are water, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, I had a lot of water weight at that time, so it kind of balanced out. So as long as you stick to your diet the way that you're supposed to, you lose the weight. If you don't stick to your diet, you're going to lose the weight, and it's going to show. And guess what? They cancel surgeries if you do not lose the weight. So, like I said about being mentally and physically prepared, it is something I had to pray myself into doing this. I had to have my partner by my side, like, you got this, it's gonna be okay, you have a goal you're trying to reach, you gotta work at it. And it was one of the hardest things I ever did, because y'all, I like food. Like, I'm a Southern girl. Like, we eat what we want, and we eat everything with grease, and everything is unhealthy. So it was hard to break those habits, but I had to do it because I had a bigger goal in mind. I wanted to be able to run around and play with my daughter. I didn't want to age fast and not be able to do normal things. My weight became such a hassle on me, because doing normal things like getting up and down out of a chair became hard, because my knees had become weakened. Walking around, just taking a stroll, like just having a walk, it was tiresome, and I just didn't want to do anything. So now I'm getting my energy back, and I'm so happy, because I want to do things now. I want to get out. I want to go walk around the mall. I want to go walk in the park. I don't care about how long my child runs around, because I'm running around with her. Me and her work out together, y'all. I have to put that on here one day, because it is the funniest thing ever. Because she's got all the energy and going a mile a minute. She's like, come on, mommy. I'm like, wait, I'm tired. Give mommy a second, okay? I'm not 5. Mommy got 20 plus years on you. You gotta wait. But that's exciting. So I'm able to do all that stuff with her, and she watches me a lot. So I feel like I'm leading a good example, showing her, you got to work for things, and I want her to grow up and be healthy too. I want her to have a long life. I want her to be physically, um, I want her to be physically, not fit but healthy, and because for the life of me, being overweight does not necessarily mean that you are unhealthy. I just need to throw that out there. A lot of people think that, but I literally know someone who when I was at my highest weight, and they were literally almost 100 pounds smaller than me. They had way more health problems than me. So it's not it's about being healthy, and about making sure that you can enjoy your life, because if you start to let things take a toll and on your life and take away from what you love, then that thing is a problem and it needs to be addressed. So, to move on. Whew. Okay. So, after surgery, your taste buds completely change. And they told me this prior to surgery, but I did not know how much it was going to change. After surgery, you're on a liquid diet for a couple weeks. And when I tell you, most protein drinks are sweet, okay? And I had a chocolate one that I had prior to surgery, so I just got that thinking, yeah, I'm gonna drink. It was okay before surgery, I'm gonna drink it after surgery. No, y'all, it was so sweet to me that I just couldn't stomach it. Like, it was disgustingly sweet. Like, it's like somebody had melted 500 candy bars and try to put them in my mouth at the same time. I just couldn't do it. So I ended up having to switch to vanilla, which that didn't taste as sweet. And I think I did like a cookies and cream, and then the place that I was going to, they actually had protein shots that were kind of like bitter tasting, which was okay for me because I just couldn't do the super sweet. The chocolate was not going down. I tried like a vanilla latte that was just overbearing. Coffee taste was way too strong. It's like all your taste bugs are just times 20. Like, it was crazy at first. So in the very beginning, I couldn't do anything sweet. And I had trouble getting my fluids down. So in order to stay healthy after the surgery, you have to get a certain amount of fluids down. You have to get a certain amount of proteins down. And it's very important that you get the amount of protein and fluid total down, because if you don't, you can become dehydrated. And that's exactly what happened to me. When I first came home from the hospital, I stayed in the hospital 2 nights. The first 3 days, I couldn't get my fluids down. It just wouldn't work because they give you these little cups that are about an ounce. You drinking an ounce at a time, but you can't like shot it. You have to sip the ounce. So you're literally sipping all day, which is exhausting in itself. And I just couldn't get the max number of ounces that I needed to get down. Well, turns out it's because I had too much mucus draining into my stomach. It was filling my stomach up, so there was no room for the fluid that I was putting in and the mucus. So I had to start what's called the post nasal drip protocol, which is basically just taking Mucinex and some Claritin to dry all of that up so that I have room for my fluid. Once I did that, I was okay. They gave me an IV in the meantime to get my fluids back up because I was dehydrated. I started taking the Mucinex and the Claritin. The mucus dried up. I was able to get my fluids down. I was okay. Now, needless to say, that I was okay with that part, but I really, 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 really hated that I could not eat. Y'all, you have no idea what your relationship with food is until you cannot have it. Okay? Because your stomach literally can't handle it. You have fresh staples. If you try to eat anything solid, it hurts like hell. First of all, it hurt like hell to drink hard. Like if I took a big gulp of something, I'm bent over because it hurt. You have to literally sip. They tell you sip, 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 drink, 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 sip, 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 drink, drink, drink. That's exactly what you have to do. Now, when you don't do what you're supposed to do, you pay for it. So I drunk real fast one time. I was hurting for about 30 minutes. Not only does drinking fast hurt because you have new staples, but when you take a gulp of something, you also swallow air. The air gives you gas pockets, and the gas pockets hurt also because you have to think your stomach went from this to this, so there's not room for air, food, drinks, all of that. You can only put one thing in there at a time. So that was really hard for me. It was really challenging trying to find the balance of doing that, taking the medicines that you have to take in at first, because they put you on like omeprazole to help with the acid. Of course, I was on the Mucinex and any other medicines that I was taking when I initially went on. I was taking those also. So it's literally like I had to take my medicine, sip a little bit, enough to get that down, wait 30 minutes to an hour to continue to sip, sip, sip to get the rest of my fluids down, because of course at that point my stomach was full of medicine. Um, One of the biggest things I would say that is very important is there's different stages as you get through the your post-op journey, where you can have liquids, then you have soft solids, and then you have whole solids, and they have deadlines that they want you to wait to do this. It's very important to do this, and I'm telling you why. Because you can get very, very sick if you do not wait. You can cause your staples to move. You can cause food to get caught up on your staples. There's a lot of different things that can happen. And I experienced one of them because I was hard-headed. So I got maybe a month and a half post-op, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to eat something sweet again to see what happens. My taste buds have changed a little bit. So I think that I'm going to go ahead. Like, they don't know, that everybody's different. I'm going to try it. Being hard-headed, I ate some chocolate. I was sick a whole 24 hours, y'all. A whole 24 hours. It was so bad. Like, I wanted to die. I wanted to die. Like, I was like, oh no, what did I do to myself? Who thought of this? Why did y'all let me do this? Somebody come undo it. God, I'm sorry. Like, I was saying it all. Like, I felt that bad. Like, it was ridiculous. But it was all because I didn't listen. I didn't do what I was supposed to. They had laid it out for me. They gave me these sheets. They told me not to eat this, not to eat that. They're like, you can't eat watermelon and grapes for 6 months because they'll make you sick. They have a high sugar content. Those are some of the things. You can't chew gum for 3 months because of the air that goes into your stomach when you chew gum. There's a few different things, but yeah. So listen, if you choose to have this surgery, know that these people are, they do this every day. They know what they're talking about. And just listen, just wait. You'll get to it eventually. Eventually, you get to eat regular foods again in small portions. You get to, have some of those things that you love eventually in smaller portions, but wait on the deadlines. If you don't wait on the deadlines, you will suffer the consequences. I cannot say that enough. That's a big thing, because listen, you don't want to feel how I felt, because I felt horrible. It was really something else, y'all. Um, One of the other things I had to get adjusted to was feeding my family. So once I was out of work for a month and I was able to go back to work, and I was able to start eating solids and things again. And once I was able to start eating solids, I kind of forgot about how to balance my my home life with my new eating habits. And this is what I mean by this. So, say for instance, most people like to eat 3 times a day. They want us to eat six small meals. So I'm literally snacking throughout the day. And literally I can't eat that much. I eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'm done. I'm full. Can't eat anymore. So with that, my mind took over, and I had a new mindset. I didn't think about food as much. I was always ready to do something else because I could literally eat in 2 minutes or say 5 minutes and be done. But, my family is still eating, or they're ready to eat, and I'm still not hungry yet. Literally, I had to make myself eat at times just because I knew I needed to get my protein in. So that I can stay healthy. That's another thing. You have to get your protein in no matter what. So if you can't get it in by eating, you get it in by drinking a protein shake, which I'm very able to do most of the time. Now, protein is so important because, believe it or not, protein is one of the things that really helps your hair grow. If you do not get your protein in, after a few months, your hair will start to fall out. I literally experienced some of this because I wasn't getting the protein in. I just kind of fell out of my routine a little bit, and my hair began to shed really, really bad. But I remember what they said. I started making sure I was getting my protein in, and my hair was fine after that. So if you make sure you take care of that initially, you won't have a problem. I know a lot of us women especially are scared about what could happen with your hair and stuff. But if you get your protein in, you should be fine. You shouldn't have any worries. I have plenty of hair, and it's fine. So I just wanted to share that part with you. Um, but back to making sure my family ate. So there would literally be times where I'm the cooker in my family. So my fiance would be like, "Babe, so we not gonna eat?" And I'd be like, "Oh, food, yeah, y'all gotta eat, right?" And because I literally forgot. So it took me some time to really learn how to balance everything and make sure that I was still um, making sure they were okay, and making sure I was okay. Now, she helped me a lot, but it took me a while to be like, okay, how do I balance all of this? Because literally, this is life changing. Getting this surgery, you should not take lightly at all. It is life changing. You have to change your habits. You have to change your schedule. You have to change the way you grocery shop. And food just doesn't feel the same, okay? So I can eat a bunch of vegetables, a bunch of fruit, a bunch of fruits, and and I literally feel it refueling my body. I normally can get more of that down than anything. But if I try to eat a lot of meat, if I try to eat anything that's sweet or greasy, my body does not go for it. Greasy food, I just can't do. Like literally, greasy food, I do not even try it for the most part now because it really upsets my stomach. I'm coupled over for a couple of hours. It's just something, excuse me, y'all. It's just something that I just can't do anymore. So you have to be ready to change those habits. And it really is a balancing act. Balancing taking your vitamins. Oh, vitamins is something you have to take every day for the rest of your life. Because you cannot eat enough. You cannot eat enough to get all the vitamins that you need. You have to take vitamins every day. There's multiple different types of vitamins that you can get. You pick out the flavors that you want and you go with that and you take it every day. I am hard-headed about taking medicine. So if you are like me, it's going to be something that is an adjustment that you are going to have to set a timer on your phone for, or fill a pill box. You're going to have to do something to figure out how to make sure you get those vitamins in, because they are essential. Because if you don't, you're going to start losing energy, and you're going to become malnutrition because you're not putting the stuff back in your body. You can't eat it now, so you have to put it in some type of way, which is by taking it by pill form, and that's gonna help you for the rest of your life. And I'm trying not to overwhelm you guys with so much information, so I am going to stop here. And I am going to have to do a part 2 to this video, just because, like I said, it's so much information, and I know there's so many questions. There's still a couple of areas I haven't even touched on yet. So I want you guys to tune back in with me again. I will be releasing another video, part 2 of my bariatric surgery, the gastric bypass. If you like this video, if you have any questions or comments, please inbox me. You can comment under the video. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions that you want to hear from me next week on my next video, just let me know. I am, like I keep telling you guys, I'm an open book. I want to share with you guys because I don't think we as people do it enough. We don't share our experiences to help someone else. And all I want to do is help somebody. We're family. I love you guys. Thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit the notification button so that when I do new videos, you'll see it come up. Also, share this video, please. Share it with somebody that may need this information, may be considering it, may not be considering it, and just need some information. I'm more than welcome to talk to any of you. If you have any questions, please, please, please contact me. Again, you can find me on Facebook. Brooklyn Belle TV is my new business page. Or you can find me on Instagram, Brooklyn_Lynn_Bell_TV. And just check me out. Come see me. I have all kind of little cute stuff that I put up. My daughter is the main thing I like to put up there because she's just so adorable. But anyway, it was so fun talking to you guys this week. I love you. Thank you for tuning in with me again. And I will talk to you again next week. Bye.